Hello beautiful Pisces, and welcome back to Intuitive Energies. My name is Jane, and today I'm going to be doing What is Your Magic? And the card Follow Through came in. Now we're going to talk about what that means, but I think Pisces, from all the cards that came out today, it is definitely talking about finding the root of the problem and really going in and figuring out what the problem is. Because a lot of the times we get bothered by things, but there's a deeper reason of why. The tree of life, especially with the roots, is the space that you don't see here. Okay, you see a little bit of the roots, but they go in deeper. And when you find the root of the problem, sometimes it has nothing to do with the root. Sometimes it has to do with a misalignment with life. Okay. The wind and the tree of life, very, very important for me, because recently I've told you guys that we had a storm where a lot of trees got uprooted, and they were talking about roots not being far enough or deep enough in the ground to anchor the tree. For me, I saw a lot of big roots coming up from the ground, so I feel that the winds of change were so forceful that the tree was not pliable, didn't bend. It had more to do with the fact that the rest of the tree was not bending anymore, was so brittle or old or whatever you want to call that it just couldn't withstand the force of the wind bending it as the younger trees did, and that's why they survived and the older ones didn't fare as well. So even though you think that your roots are deep and it's going to protect you, you need to remember that you need to be pliable in other areas. In other words, you may look at the root of the problem, Pisces, but you really need to look at all of the problem. There may be some things that you are not seeing, things that have made you stiff and unbending, okay? So what you need to do is to follow through in everything that you do, to look at things, to figure it out, to see what is stopping you, so that you can follow through and continue on your way, okay? And you don't need to find the perfect answers, but if you start uncovering the truth will set you free, okay? I know it's cliche, but it's a great saying, okay? Somebody came up with it, and yeah, probably divinely given, okay, to help the world. The truth will set you free. Whatever that would be, okay? For a lot of people, it's, giving the truth to the world so that, people will see the clarity of it. But the truth, like everything else, is a different thing for many people, okay? You may feel guilty about something, or you may feel like you're restricted to do something, and you may look at the surface and be completely confused of why you cannot move forward. But there's a deeper, and it's not in the roots. Sometimes it's not always here. Sometimes it's in here, okay? You have to look at the whole. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so I'm going to read. This is 25, the follow through card. But 23, all I could see is the number 5. And the number 5 are hard numbers. They're numbers of really work that sometimes escape us. When I see 5, I see sometimes the work where you're working at finding answers, but having a hard time to find them. So this requires a part in your life where they're telling you to pause, okay, and find what you need to find. This is important. This will be an important, beautiful next step for you to get to where you need to go. Okay, so I'm going to read to you what the follow-through card it says. An unfinished idea that needs finishing. So it could be an idea, but it could also be the work on yourself. You need to finish looking deep into what you need to fix or look at. It's not necessarily fix. You're fixing it when you look at it truthfully, okay? Allowing yourself to say, it's done, following through and nurturing your relationships. It says it could be leaving your energy scattered and unfinished business. And, okay, so it says, was your big, beautiful masterpiece left unfinished? So is there something right now that you're leaving unfinished? A book, a symphony, something you began but didn't fully birth. Right now is the perfect time to revisit your dream that was always meant to happen. It's a perfect time to follow through with people, projects, promises, and ideas. Okay? Tying up loose ends will allow you to interact with integrity, keep all your energetic resources intact. When you set out to start something new, you place a bit of your energetic self, time, money, energy, intentions, into the hopes of that new beginning. Leaving a project floating or unfinished can niggle away at the back of your mind long after the ideas have been forgotten, or long after the thing has been figuratively dealt with. Okay, I'm going to add this here. That nagging voice that says you didn't do what you said you were going to do can drain you energetically, and that guilt can even become a sense of diminished self-worth or lack of accomplishment. If your heart knows it's not meant to happen, it's time to officially close the energetic ties that bind. It's the ties that bind, right? Okay, that leave you unbending. It's this unbending tree that keeps coming up. They keep showing me all the trees that fell down. Okay, if your heart knows it's not meant to happen, it's time to close that. What do you need to finish? What needs closure? It's time to reclaim all of those energy strings so you can use them to weave your brightest future. All right, so I'm going to read to you the Tree of Life. I really liked what it had to say. It says, the Tree of Life is a sacred symbol throughout the Americas. Its deep roots reach into the lower world, the unconscious, while its branches reach to the heavens, the source of destiny. To be whole in your life's journey, it's important to have deep roots, high branches, and I'm going to say an ability to bend. Okay, I'm going to add that. To be whole in your life's journey, it is important to have deep roots, high branches. A tall tree with shallow roots falls in the first wind, but a deep tree with deep roots can weather any storm if it is willing, it has the ability to bend. Okay? And I'm not saying bend to other people's will. I'm saying this is about change, not about giving in to somebody else's ideas or it's about adapting. It's the Two of Pentacles they're showing me. Being able to juggle is the ability for this tree to be able to sway in the wind, okay? Because if the winds become too strong, the tree will fall, okay? Doesn't matter. Okay, to find health and balance in your life, and we had the card of balance yesterday, okay? So remember that. Reflect on how you dance with your actions, your thoughts, and your feelings. If you're too much in your thinking head, or in a world of fantasies and daydreaming, connect more with your roots and physical body. If you're caught in mechanical doing and you're feeling stuck, not able to imagine a better life for yourself, open yourself to be inspired by the heavens. Let your roots and branches be aligned to your heart's longing. So it's putting everything in alignment. And that's going to help you follow through. Now this is your magic, Pisces. So this is indicating to me that you have the ability to do it. You just may be stuck right now in a place where you feel you cannot do it, but you can, okay? I can even tell you just for myself, every once in a while there's something that happens that I need to look at, and when I do, I write down how I feel, and what I write down is, go deeper, Jane. I tell myself, now go deeper, you know, like, why did that bother me? I write something down and I say, go deeper. I work on the feeling and work on the next feeling. And a lot of the times it's insecurities about the way I feel about something. It's something that I'm not admitting to myself. Okay, it usually, for me, there's a lot of feeling that I feel like I've done something and I've done them for selfish reasons. And it's because I do not want to get involved in people's dramas anymore, but I feel bad for not doing it, okay? And I'm giving you an example of that. But it could be as simple as, I don't, they have a journey and it's not for me to get involved. And then it's like, that's like heartless, selfish, okay? And then I say go deeper. And then I realize there's more to it. Okay, so that's what I say. If you haven't done that, do it. Follow through on that. It's going to liberate yourself. And the wind can take it away from you after, okay? The wind card right here. I'm going to read to you the wind card. Let's see here. Okay. The symbol of the wind represents the element of air. It rules communication, thought, song, and inspired ideas, and writing. Okay, a lot of the times I write this stuff down to help me get over it. It also signifies change. There you go, the change I was talking about. With qualities both positive and negative, the wind blows from each of the 4 directions, and there are different qualities bestowed by each. The south, carrying a new sense of trust, helping you gently begin to discard habits and parts of you that no longer needed. West, calling you to more introspection, to a willingness to make final decisions, to let go of attachments and ego desires. North, moving to bring you wisdom and strength. East, carrying clarity of vision and purpose. Whichever way the wind is blowing for you, the message which the wind whispers or shouts is a challenge. It may take courage at first to turn and face the wind, but you will find exaltation in moving toward it and receiving its lessons. Yeah, sometimes it is, that's the other part they're coming in with. Sometimes it's not comfortable to admit things to yourself, because it sometimes you feel that it won't represent you in the nicest of light. But ultimately, in that statement, whatever you're running away from, that going, well, maybe that wasn't so great of me to do that, that's what you're running away from. You're running away of admitting to yourself that you may not feel good about your actions, but Pisces, it doesn't mean you were in the wrong. It just means that you are feeling guilty for something. And the idea here is to write things down and figure out if you should be feeling guilty for these things. Or maybe you should just be working through them. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to pull a bit of tarot, and I'm going to pull from the Psychic Tarot. I haven't used this one in a while. It's not an actual 78 card deck, but I like it nonetheless, and it was calling to me today. This one, I try to relate it to the tarot cards, but I think it's just easier to read it intuitively with help of spirit. Sometimes it's good to have like a tarot deck and just use it as a baseline. And other decks, because of the way they're made, I just like using them the way they were made. Okay. So let's spirit. Use this one. Okay. I already knew with this one. This is the devil, okay? This card in the regular tarot deck has been coming in all morning. All morning. The thing is with the devil card, it is restrictions, okay? I feel that, I was about to say, I think the Page of Swords and the devil, they have a thing together, They have a thing where they get together and you start feeling like a big pile of crap when you have the devil card. You feel restricted. You feel like you're stuck, that you're, this is also the card of like bondage, so it feels like you're tied up in these feelings of not being able to move forward, okay? And I do feel that a lot of this is tied to the ego, okay? So you may feel like, oh, I was, this was total ego of me. Go deeper, okay? Follow through in those thoughts. Find the answer. Find the message. It's written temptation here. It could also be that you're doing something that feels good, or you feel that you're going to do something that feels good, so ultimately it's probably not good for you. Don't jump to conclusions. They're telling me as well. Some of us have been so driven so hard to believe that the stuff that feels great is bad for us, that it's going to lead to the Three of Swords, heartache and loss. Okay? And we have to, the Three of Swords has always been seeing the truth of the situation. You need to follow through to find the truth in what you are saying, or the stories that you are telling yourself. Okay? Feels good, it's tempting. Things that I've been tempted have been called evil in my life. A lot of religions, they have whole chapters on this, okay? And saying that it's not okay to take care of yourself, that you should also always be selfless, you know, and in other words, being the kind of person that will self-sacrifice. And for some, yes, it might be their path, Pisces, but for most of us, that's not the way it works. And being always throwing yourself on a sacrificial rock to be sacrificed for others or for everything, you just end up being the person who's always getting the short end of the stick. Okay, because there will always, for the person who's sacrificing themselves, there will always be the other people who will totally take advantage of that. And that brings in this card, the heartache and loss, the feeling of, so you need to see this for what it is. Okay? I'm not saying don't ever do anything for anybody, but see where it comes from. Okay? Why are you feeling this way? Everything, Pisces, has to do with balance. Everything has to do with balance. Because when you sacrifice yourself, you're also not standing your ground. It's like saying, you are more important than I am. Okay? The reason that you have to look through these and take a moment to find what's going on is you have to tell yourself the truth. It's okay to stand your ground. It's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay not to always offer up your throat, okay, to the guillotine. You don't need to do that all the time, okay? Selflessness is not about how much you can give up to everybody in the world. Selflessness is something completely different, okay? It's giving of oneself from the heart space. It's not doing it for the ego. It's not doing it for how it looks. And sometimes we feel bad because it looks like we didn't give enough, that we didn't do enough. You just have to look in through these things. I feel that they're telling you to look deeper at this, okay? And tell yourself the truth, even if it's like an ego truth. Are you doing this for ego? And if the answer is yes, not to beat yourself up over it, okay? To understand yourself better. Do you consider yourself a bad person? I probably would say for most people, they'd say no, okay? Do we need adjustments in things and the way we do them? Absolutely. Our whole life journey is about that, Pisces, and that will never change. The thing is you have to be kind to yourself. We've been conditioned to do a lot of things that sets us out of alignment, that makes us feel like we should be flogging ourselves all the time for things we may or may not have any control over. The point of it is to always be honest with yourself. When you are honest with yourself, even when you don't like what you are seeing, you have the greatest place for improvement. Knowing is half the battle. Admitting is half the battle. This is from also, I had alcoholics in my life, and they say admitting you have a problem is half the battle. And of course it is. Because when you lie to yourself or tell yourself, I don't have a problem, I'm okay, you're just burying it. Okay? Alright, Pisces, let's see here. Let's see what else we can get. Love begins. Okay? Love that. It's the Ace of Cups. When you admit the truth to yourself, when you are completely transparent, that's a beautiful word. When you're completely transparent with yourself, even if it's saying something about yourself that you think, oh, that paints me in not such a great light, you're able to discover things about yourself and love yourself more truthfully. You don't need to hate yourself with this. This is supposed to open your heart space and open you up to understand yourself fully, to work at things, to follow through and put them forward, okay, to be able to move forward. Harmony, another card of love. The 6, this is the Lover's card. Love this card. And when you're doing that, you'll be able to offer the very best of yourself to the world around you. Because you're going to be being truthful. You don't hide any parts of yourself. You know yourself fully. And it's not saying to people, this is the way I am and you just have to put up with me. It's saying, I'm a work in progress. Okay? Some things right now, well, I don't feel capable of doing it, but I know at some point I will be working on myself. I'll be constantly working on myself. And if I'm open to it, I'm open to the good and the bad, the tears and the laughter, I can get anywhere and I can do anything. Okay? Because my tree hasn't grown so brittle and so strong that the top part is fine and the bottom part's not bad. But if anything hits in the middle, it's going to cut it straight across. Because this is not working with the whole. Okay? So follow through on yourself. This is your magic. You have the ability to do it. You have emotional withdrawal. For me, that is the 8 of Cups. It's saying that it's hard. This is hard work. Okay? To sit and being completely honest with yourself is probably some of the hardest things you'll ever do. When I feel I have done something wrong or feel crappy about something, like I feel guilty about something and can't really understand the why. Sometimes it's easy to get into the defensive mode and say, well, I did it for that and this and that and how dare they. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I am still feeling it deep within myself. It's still breaking me and cracking me and making me hard in the middle. The idea is to follow through and to write it down and figure it out and see where I'm feeling this. Go deeper. Go deeper. Follow through. You can do it, okay? Not only that, for people who become healers, for people, they're showing me, some of you who are doing this work for yourself, it'd be great to write it down because this could help other people in the future. When people come to you and they act defensively, you can turn around and say, we need to look deeper, okay? And you're going to help people help themselves instead of suffering in silence. Okay, that card right here, suffering in silence, it's explaining to me that if you are sitting around, letting things rattle around in your brain, making you miserable, this is the clear indication that something needs to be taken out, put on a table, and looked at. Okay? You need to look at it. You need to release it. Because if you don't look at it, you're not going to release it. You're going to hang on to it. You're going to feel it's going to weigh you down. It's going to drag your energy into the dirt, okay? When you feel stuck, when you feel stagnant, you need to look at these energies and bring back balance. Look at that, okay? Bring back harmony and balance. By looking at it, you bring back harmony and balance. The heartache and loss, the thing that you're thinking, oh, you know, I'm suffering here. You need to look. You need to take a closer look. You need to take it out. Even if you don't want to, Pisces, and you're not going to. Sacral chakra, yeah. So, it's not the root chakra, it's the sacral chakra. It's the beginning at the bottom of the tree, I would say. The root is down here. Sacral, I guess, would be here, then the soul or the heart and the throat, and then you go to the higher chakras. So, you're working here, and it's something that you should say that, but there's a little, you see that right here? Look at that orange ball right here. Didn't even notice that, and all the butterflies are around it. Look at that, Pisces. Yes, my readings do this all the time, if it's your first time here. Okay, so you need to be dealing with the sacral chakra work, and I'm going to read here what this has to say. This is how this deck differs, and that's what I like. So, it says orange. The sound of that card is vam. The element is water. There you go, Pisces. Of course, it has to do with the reproductive system in both men and women. The keywords is I want. Known as the sacral chakra, the second chakra is located 2 fingers below your navel and relates to emotions, desire, creativity, and sexuality. To keep this chakra balanced and its energy flowing, try dancing, moving your hips, use a color meditation, practice yoga, express yourself, nurture yourself, and remember, you do matter, okay? So this has to do with ego, no ego. When you think you matter, sometimes we like to believe that we are egotistical, so it has to do with ego things like I was talking. And I love this. Prosperity begins. This is the Ace of Pentacles. It's the beginning of the fruitful stage when you start doing this work. You're following through on yourself. You're investing in yourself, Pisces. You're doing the work that needs to be done. All right, so this is... Oh, this has been long. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to come back and do the extended later. We're going to look at this deeper, Pisces, your follow-through. Take care of yourself. Love, light, and blessings. Bye now.